dang it, Marvel, you blew it. You had the chance to tell one of the greatest superhero movies ever in the genre. Something that could be considered like a real classic, a good cinema. And, that could ask hard questions but really telling a great superhero story still. And you blew it because you pulled your punches and held back and were gentle from telling the actual story. The reason that people like the Civil War comic book is because it really does pull no punches in asking those questions and telling that story. It's about two good men who believe so much in their principles on opposite sides that they are willing to go all the way and fight each other as far as it will have to go for their beliefs and how far that goes. What makes that kind of a story work is if you really have bad things happen that push these characters to make really hard decisions, and then you force them to make really hard choices to stand by their principles, doing things they maybe wouldn't want to do. And if people do flip sides or do, anything like that, then it's a really hard choice, and they really do that. The original Civil War comic book, it opens with a superhero battle destroying a children's elementary school. In the conflict between Captain America and Iron Man, people died. And, it doesn't end with any arbitrary reason for them to hate each other. They just beat on each other until one of them loses, or in the case of the story, gives up. That doesn't mean it was a bad movie. Marvel did what it does really well, which is do lots of great fan service. Lots of great superhero fun moments. Tony Stark with Peter Parker was perfect. It was. The fight scene, with everyone and Vision and Scarlet Witch, it was great. It was beautiful. But the drama of the story that could make this more than just a fun superhero flick, was gone. Even if you really like this movie, imagine how much of a more powerful story it would have been if they had, the beginning, in the building where somebody had died, the people had died, the guy the promising young student who had died, who had actually been somebody who was mentored by Tony. So then, you had personal stakes like that involved, personal investment. When Tony and Cap were going at each other as the story was going on, Tony kept doing things that were freedom, encroaching on freedom. And Cap kept doing things, or people who were working with him, like Bucky, kept doing things that were actually causing collateral damage and deaths and things like that. And the scale kept increasing so that you could see that oh wow, Cap's side, I can see the argument against it because this is the cost. It's the cost of safety. Whereas when you look at Iron Man, it's oh, I can see this is the cost of this. This is the cost of, of tyranny. And then the cost of liberty at stake. So that way the story shows you the philosophical, the big questions being asked, and force people to really confront for themselves those questions. That's why raising the stakes in a story where asking questions is important, is it really makes the audience struggle with it as well. Now, I'm not one of those people that wants superhero movies to be all grimdark and Watchmen. I believe in heroes, and I like the fact that superheroes, at the end of the day, no matter what they do, hold up heroes as something that's good, and the superhero stories can be fun. But I really like, once in a while, for a story to push the idea of heroism as far as it will go, because I believe that, at the end of the day, that actually shows how great heroes are, because they can withstand those kind of questions. I think superheroes are the modern myths that are really capable of asking those questions and answering them in a way that makes us believe in good things. And I really would like, once in a while, to see that again. That's fine, you know, I'm a filmmaker. I'll just make those kind of films myself. Films that are about great heroes, that show why heroes are great and are fun to watch, but also ask those deep, hard questions. And when I do, and if enough of us do, then maybe we'll get superhero Marvel DC film that will do that also again. And meantime, I'll be waiting.